to Oceanography News. Are sea levels and ocean levels rising? Well, according to a report out of Jet Propulsion Laboratory, record sea levels in 2024 reveal a shocking surge in ocean expansion. From Roberta Boscalo, the climate and energy leader at the WMO, through the porthole, witnessing hashtag sea level rise 1993 to 2025. NASA, National Aeronautics and Space Administration's powerful visualization offers a stark window into reality. Global sea levels have steadily risen as the planet warms and polar ice melts. This visualization metaphorically places us inside a submerged porthole, graphically highlighting how much our oceans have risen from 1993 to 2025. Why does this matter? Coastal infrastructures, supply chains, logistics hubs, tourism-driven businesses, real estate investments, and agricultural production in low-lying regions all face vulnerability. Understanding these impacts is no longer optional. It's essential for sustainable business growth and resilience. Sea levels surged in 2024, rising faster than expected due to warming oceans. Unlike previous years where melting ice dominated, thermal expansion drove most of the increase. NASA satellite records show sea levels climbing steadily since 1993, with ocean dynamics like winds and El Nino playing a crucial role in heat distribution. Sea level rise accelerates in 2024. Global sea levels rose faster than expected in 2024, mainly due to the expansion of ocean water as it warmed, a process known as thermal expansion. A NASA-led analysis found that sea levels increased by 0.23 inches, 0.59 centimeters last year, surpassing the predicted rate of 0.17 inches, 0.43 centimeters per year. The rise we saw in 2024 was higher than expected, said Josh Willis, a sea level researcher at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. Every year is a little bit different, but what's clear is that the oceans continue to rise, and the rate of rise is getting faster and faster. Thermal expansion takes the lead. About 2/3 of the sea level rise in recent years came from melting glaciers and ice sheets, while thermal expansion accounted for roughly 1/3. In 2024, that pattern reversed, with 2/3 of the rise driven by the expansion of warming ocean water. With 2024 as the warmest year on record, Earth's expanding oceans are following suit, reaching their highest levels in 3 decades, said Nadia Vinogradova Schiffer, head of physical oceanography programs and the Integrated Earth System Observatory at NASA headquarters in Washington. Decades of rising waters. Since the satellite record of ocean height began in 1993, the rate of annual sea rise has more than doubled. In total, global sea level has gone up by 4 inches, 10 centimeters since 1993. This long-term record is made possible by an uninterrupted series of ocean-observing satellites, starting with the Top-X Poseidon in 1992. The current ocean-observing satellite in that series, Sentinel-6 Michael Freilich, launched in 2020 and is one identical pair of spacecraft that will carry the sea level dataset into its 4th decade. Its twin, the upcoming Sentinel-6B satellite, will continue to measure sea surface height down to a few centimeters for about 90% of the world's oceans.
Vehicles experiencing maximum aerodynamic pressure.
So there we heard that call for max Q. We also heard vehicles supersonic, so traveling faster than this.
Mixing it up, there are several ways in which heat makes its way into the ocean, resulting in the thermal expansion of water. Normally, seawater arranges itself into layers determined by water temperature and density. Warmer water floats on top of and is lighter than cooler water, which is denser in most places. Heat from the surface moves very slowly through these layers down into the deep ocean. However, extremely windy areas of the ocean can agitate the layers enough to result in vertical mixing. Very large currents, like those found in the Southern Ocean, can tilt ocean layers, allowing surface waters to more easily slip down deep. Massive movement of water during El Nino, in which a large pool of warm water normally located in the western Pacific Ocean sloshes over to the central and eastern Pacific, can also result in vertical movement of heat within the ocean. As you can see here, this is the global mean sea level change over time. Our next story, if you ever wondered what it's like to wake up as a oceanographer down in the Antarctic, well, here you have a view from Yu Hang Lu. Day 16, the icebreaker is now breaking the ice. Hashtag DMV. Well, here in the Northeast, spring is in the air while phytoplankton bloom in the sea. Every spring, the North Atlantic erupts in a burst of green, microscopic marine algae. Scientists long thought warming waters drove the phytoplankton bloom, but a 2014 WHO-led study found that swirling ocean eddies jumpstart the process weeks earlier. Thanks to NASA's PACE, Plankton Aerosol Cloud Ocean Ecosystem Satellite, we can see these blooms like never before, which help scientists study marine food webs and fisheries, changes in the carbon cycle, and even safeguard human health by detecting outbreaks of harmful algae. NASA Goddard Space Flight Center image showing phytoplankton bloom from Nova Scotia to Cape Cod and the Gulf of Maine. It also happens to be salmon season. Coming to a river near you, wild Atlantic salmon. This adaptable yet vulnerable species is struggling with the pace of climate change, compounded by local pressures such as barriers to migration, pollution, disease, and habitat degradation. We all need to play our part in helping to balance these pressures and create the best environment for these amazing creatures to thrive in hashtag cold clean water. Let's raise awareness of this keystone species and its specific cousins by getting them into many feeds as possible. Here goes a great video of the Atlantic salmon. Another sure sign of spring in New England is the return of North Atlantic right whales to Cape Cod Bay. Another story at a Woodsole Oceanographic Institution. So far this season, aerial observers from the Center for Coastal Studies, Provincetown, Mass., have seen 80 of the critically endangered whales in the bay, and last week they spotted the first mother-calf pair seen here. They identified the mother as a 31-year-old Nauset who was first seen swimming with this newborn off the coast of Georgia in December. After spending the winter breeding off the southeastern U.S. coast, right whales migrate to places like Cape Cod Bay, which hosts one of the biggest whale buffets in the world during the springtime phytoplankton bloom that we just showed you in the recent satellite imagery from NASA. We researchers work closely with CCS and other partners to track individual whales and monitor their population. There are only about 370 North Atlantic right whales remaining. Our next story involves the Titanic, also comes out of Woodsole Oceanographic Institution. You've heard of icicles, but have you heard of rusticles? When the Titanic shipwreck was first found in 1985, researchers on board Huey's RV Nor found its portholes covered in what looked like icicles. Upon a closer look, they were rusticles. This formation of rust is similar in appearance to an icicle or stalactite and can occur in the deep sea when iron-loving bacteria attack and oxidize iron and steel. The term a blend of rust and icicle was coined by Dr. Robert Ballard during the Titanic expedition, which used Huey's Argo imaging system to locate the wreck. These fragile formations crumble easily and disintegrate even faster than real icicles melt. Elephant seals make great oceanographers. A new study led by University of California, Santa Cruz found a link between fish abundance in the Pacific Ocean twilight zone and how these marine mammals forage and reproduce. Hui ecologist Simon Thorold says the sensor-equipped elephant seals involved in the study have produced valuable insight into the health of the marine food web. An elephant seal fitted with a biomonitor on its head. These biomonitors are like Fitbits to tell researchers where the seals migrate to in the open ocean and when they forage. Images by Daniel Costa, images collected under NMFS permit 23188. Our last story for this episode of Ocean News comes out of the Schmidt Ocean Institute. Let us celebrate the siphonophore with its tiny glass-filled float atop a cluster of swimming bells forming a column like blossoms of foxglove. Excerpt from In the Praise of the Jellyfish by American poet and author Lucille Lang, Day. You can read it in its entirety in the links in the description box. ROV pilots filmed the siphonophore during the South Sandwich Islands expedition, where a team of international scientists is characterizing biodiversity and examining geohazards along the seafloor in extremely remote locations. The closest humans to our ship, the research vessel Falkor 2, may be orbiting the Earth on the International Space Station. Please make sure to subscribe and like and share this video, and head over to d-2.com/news and bookmark our news page and check it regularly so you don't miss out on important updates like my recent interview with Marine Technology News. Thanks again for watching and hope you have a wonderful day.